Rudy Nielsen is Land Corps Data Corporation president, one of British Columbia's leading real estate evaluators. And Mr. Nielsen, good morning. I think you were on the line when Mick asked the question of Cameron Muir, but I'm going to put the same question to you. Who's buying properties worth more than $1 million for a 33-foot lot on the east side of Vancouver?
I kind of agree with Cameron Muir that the foreign market is only a small percentage of the buyers. And I always use an example that when I look at real estate in one way like a General Motors does. When a person comes out of school at age 16, we sell him a car for $3,500 for $13,000. Work all the way up until he's 70 years old and he buys a Cadillac. So we looked at some real good statistics in downtown Vancouver. Where we looked at condos at 450 square feet, where two people will share or rent it and then move themselves up to a condo of 500 to 600 square feet. You meet a boyfriend, you meet a girlfriend, you get married, and you keep working your way up, and then soon you have kids, and now you're going to look for a place in Maple Ridge. So you move your way all the way up from the early days all the way to Maple Ridge. So I think that the foreign investment is just a small market, and that there is a lot of local people buying properties in British Columbia.
So did you say you're in agreement with Cameron Muir?
Yeah, on the foreign investment, I certainly am, yes.
Now, in terms of that east side property at $1 million plus, who's buying that?
It's mostly two-income people, and they're professionals. So two incomes, they're paying for the mortgage. And it's an investment, and they fix it up, and two people will buy it, and two professional people.
And they're choosing the east side because it's less expensive than the west side, but their goal may be the west side down the road.
Yes. So, real estate is a great investment. Like I was saying to somebody here just yesterday, I followed the Chinese money. I went to China and spent 2 weeks there just looking at where the money was coming from, what people are doing, where the investor was coming from. I was in Hong Kong. I was in China a year ago, and I was in Hong Kong 2 months ago. And I was looking at the different investors. I've talked to a number of investors. And, yes, there is a Chinese market. In some areas, it's still fairly active, like South Surrey, where the Chinese are buying, and from mainland China, and they're buying 1 acre lots because they don't get a 1 acre lot in China. So there's still a good market for the Chinese investor, but right now they're holding back. Chinese people they go into a market that's active. When all of a sudden the market starts slowing down, you don't see that many Chinese people or Asian people investing into properties. They're waiting until the market gets active again. And also remember that we've got a new Chinese leader coming in the fall of 2013, which will have a big effect, and see what his new policies are going to be. So I think everybody's kind of hanging back in the Chinese market, but it's not a great influence on the BC market.
Have we overbuilt the condo market?
In some areas, yes, but in some areas they're still selling very well. But, what I was looking at is that, the best year British Columbia ever had was 2007, where we sold $64 billion worth of residential properties, or sales took place. That was about 158,000 properties. And last year, I'm just calculating our figures. We're up in the third quarter, we're up to $34 billion. But 2011, we had $50 billion of properties selling in residential, which was about 96,000 sales. So from our peak in 2007, we've kind of leveled off, and we're running around 100. We're running around 110, 120 properties per year, 120,000 properties per year, and around that $47 to $62 billion mark. So I don't know what the numbers are going to be yet for 2012. We're just calculating our Q3, our third quarter, but I'm going to guess that we're going to be just slightly over last year at around $51 billion worth of sales.
How about next year?
Nobody can predict that, but what you look at is that when I go and travel anywhere, and I come back to British Columbia, and I say to people, it doesn't matter if it's raining or not, get on your hands and knees and kiss the ground that you live in British Columbia. The Chinese people, for instance, find that Canada, and especially British Columbia, is a safe place. We have, first of all, a majority government. We have regulated banks, which are probably the key thing, which is keeping our money very active in Canada. We have water, lots of water. We have the potash in Saskatchewan, the oil in Alberta, and we've got lots of oil and gas coming out of northern British Columbia now, and there's gold mines coming in there. So, I mean, they think British Columbia is a safe place, and that's why the Chinese people invest here. It's also a very short route from Vancouver to China. So it will come back again. I don't think it's going to come back until the next year, but there's so many predictions. You know, I'm not an economist, don't pretend to be. I just crunch numbers. I've got every number from 1972 to today. I update every sale in British Columbia on a weekly basis. And we even have a product called, what we do is we take the assessed value and we upgrade the assessed value on a weekly basis on every property in British Columbia. And so, we keep track of it on a weekly basis. But I'm not worried about the market at all. I think it will level off in some areas. Some areas are going to stay quite active. Some areas will level off. But I think anybody cannot predict right now what's going to happen this year. You've got Europe, you've got the United States. There's so many factors built into this thing that I think one of the best economists in the world is going to have a tough time trying to figure out.
Mr. Nielsen, thank you.
Thank you.
Rudy Nielsen, Land Core Data Corporation. News headlines next.